So in the light of recent events and finding out that we are just crooks and we sell cripples and we sell outlaws and we don't have any morals and we just are out here cheating and lying to everybody, we're gonna try something new with how we operate around here. To be more transparent, we're just gonna share as much as we possibly can of everything that happens here, everything that we get in, all the things that are going on.
Which
and hopefully
I
some
feel
of
like
you guys can.
we do already, but we're going to be extra annoying about this.
Yes. Well, and maybe this can be a little bit educational too. Like when you go, because we buy a lot of horses. I know it comes down to when we sell the horse, but what everybody doesn't see is like when we buy the horse, we go through the same thing that everybody else that's buying the horse has to go through. We have to evaluate the horse. We have to problem solve the horse if it's not exactly what it was when we get it home, or what it was represented to be when we get it home. So like this mare, we bought her last week. They didn't represent her to be sound. They actually didn't say a whole lot about her. She was pretty. She looked like she was gentle. She looked like she rode around fairly nice, just needed a tune-up. After we got her home, we rode her a little bit. She's not bad lame, but she presents a little bit in her front left and she seems to work out of it. So like most people should do, we're going to start at the bottom and do the easy thing first, and then we're going to work our way up from there until we have, I think the mare acts maybe slightly a little bit navicular. I don't know 100% if that's what it is. Maybe she just has heel pain. Her feet look like they've been neglected for some time. She doesn't have a very good shoe job. I'm not bashing whoever did her. I have no idea who did her. And whoever did her is a long ways away from where we are, about 1,000 miles. So with that said, we're going to change her shoes. We're going to put a wedge pad on her, give her some frog support, take a little bit of toe length off of her and see if that helps with her presenting sore in this front left. Like when I rode her yesterday, she was sore at the beginning. She walked out of it. She was sore on the rocks more than she was in the arena. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it the easy thing. We're going to change her shoes, give her a little bit of extra support, give her a wedge, take some of that pressure off, see if that makes a difference. Now, when we sell this horse, she's going to have these shoes on. Or she'll probably have a similar package or, something, whatever it is. But whoever buys her is going to have that knowledge. We didn't have that knowledge. And we give quite a bit for this mare, especially if she's not the way that we bought her to be. So, but we're not crying. We're not whining about it. We're not calling the people that we bought her from and telling them, well, you sold us a bum, you sold us a cripple, we want our money back, none of that. No, we're going to fix her because she is a nice mare. She is very gentle. She rides pretty good. She does need a little bit of a tune-up. But we can do a little bit of maintenance, and she can be a super, super nice mare for somebody that's willing to actually put the effort into her to keep her going, and she'll last a long time. She is young. I think she does probably need chiropractic work, the way she kind of stood yesterday after I saddled her. She's not really presenting sore in her back when I rub her right now, but the way she stood yesterday kind of presented that she might be a little bit back sore, and that might be some of the deal on this front left. But what we're going to do is we're going to use these 3D pads. It's got a wedge and frog support. We're going to pack them. And the shoe that's on her is not really fitted to her foot very well. They kind of, I would say that her feet were very long and they just lopped a bunch off and nailed a shoe on her. Looking at this, I'm going to assume that she's fairly thin-soled, which is another reason why we're using the pad and not just a wedge shoe. So stay tuned. We're going to give you more updates as we go through this. We're going to get a lot of updates, everything from training and what we do training-wise, what we do shoeing-wise, what we do dental-wise. We don't have anything to hide from anybody, and everything's getting posted
Annoyingly so.
And nobody can ever go back and say that we lied about it, because you're all going to see it from beginning to end. Ooh, that would be part of...
Once again, we bought this mare, fully taking the chance on her, knowing that we didn't do a PPE on her, and that if problems arises, that was on us. We liked the mare enough to take those chances.
Good Lord, it stinks.
We were also told, or actually we were also not told if she was sound or not. That was not disclosed.
Yeah, minute. I'm gonna go grab our hoof testers. I'm gonna hoof test her before we go any further.
Okay. You can speak while you're doing this.
So, the hoof testers, we're looking for a reaction to see. There, she kind of flinched a little bit across her toe. Her soles are super thin. She had a ton of false sole that we carved out of there. We're gonna find out if she reacts to heel pain. There's none there. Heel pain is associated with navicular. So my initial diagnosis of being possibly navicular, very unlikely at this point, because if she was navicular, when we squeeze across here, and it's not 100%, but almost always would there be, she kind of did there, but she's just kind of pulling on me as I squeeze. Very little reaction compared to when I come across the toe. Yeah, she really flinches across her toe. She's got thin soles. She's got a lot of false sole.
What's that mean if she's tender in the toe?
It means that she's got thin soles. She's just going to be sensitive. It means that we're going to put this pad on her. I'm actually going to switch to a different pad. I'm not going to put... When actually, you can see on the top of this foot, there's a abscess track. And like I said, her feet look like they had been neglected for some time. They're a little bit pancaked out. They've got all these abscess tracks through the lamina and the white line. This is a perfect example of why we start with the simple. What's the easiest thing to fix? Well, let's go to her feet. Let's reshoe her and put something on her that's going to make her more comfortable. If that doesn't work, then we can add more to either the shoeing package, or we can get the chiropractor out, because that's the next easiest thing. Or we can then go to the vet and get x-rays and all that shot. I don't think we need x-rays on this horse. All that would do is tell us exactly how thin her soles are. We're still going to stick with the 3D pad. It will be open in the front, but it protects most of the foot and gives her more elevation off the ground. We're not going to be riding her where it's super rocky, mostly in the arena and just on the driveway. This will give them enough room. I am not going to put the wedge on her though. I'm going to stick with just a flat pad. I need to go grab those. Okay, so we're going to trim this back. Like I said, she obviously is very neglected. We're going to trim this and get as much toe off of here as we can get. She's been, you can tell that her foot's been let go for way too long. I don't know what they treated her with for thrush, but between the thrush and the smell of whatever that they treated her with, man, her feet stink. All we're trying to do is get this sole down to where all the dead necrotic material is gone, and we can get down to the good, healthy part. I really like these frog support pads. These 3D pads, or actually I think these are a different brand, but it's the same thing. They really help keep that frog and the digital cushion in contact with the ground. And give that whole foot and that whole limb support. So if you look at this, here's the shoe we took off. We're gonna put it like this. See how they really spread that shoe out? They didn't really have it under, which we gotta shape ours some. But we're gonna set the shoe back. We're gonna take that toe off, and we're gonna make sure we give those heels a lot of support, because that support, now you're gonna be like, everybody's gonna be like, well, she's gonna pull that shoe. No, because we're going to ease that breakover back, and that breakover lets that shoe or that foot roll over and get out of the way before our back foot gets up there. Now, can she hook it in a stall or out in a pasture? Possibly, but I'd rather have a sound horse that I got to nail a shoe back on than an unsound horse that holds her shoes forever. So, all right, we shaped our shoe. I just want to reiterate again, like, we bought this horse as is. We own this horse. We're not going to whine and complain. We're going to look for solutions. We're going to make this horse as comfortable as we can to be usable for what we want it to do. Now we're going to trail ride her a little bit. She's gentle enough. I think some of our older kids can ride her. Keep in mind, when I say that, our kids ride. So just because even our 8-year-old rides this mare, or is possibly going to ride this mare down the road, does not mean that your 8-year-old can ride this mare that's taken lessons for, 6 months. Our kids have grown up in the barn. They ride on a very regular basis. So just because ours ride it doesn't mean that yours can ride it.
And on top of that, when this mare goes and is offered for sale, we will once again, like we do everybody else, go get your own PPE. We do not hide that. We do not discourage it. We don't not bring up the word. I mean, we literally repeat it to you several times when you are here. And not only do we do that, but then you sign a contract that we tell you, read this word from word.
We want you to get the PPE because it does 2 things. 1, it protects you as the buyer. It also protects us as the seller. Because then you can't come back and say, we lied, we did this, we did that. When you get the PPE done.
And by God, all dear baby Jesus, if you want that blood test, get that blood test. The suggestions that we literally are out here drugging horses are absolutely insane. We're not just throwing these horses at auctions. We know we have to speak with you again. We know we have a reputation we have to withhold. So why in the heck would we drug a horse knowing when you get home with it, it ain't going to be the same? We also don't have x-ray vision. Tell him, Caleb, you're a farrier. We can only see what we see.
I've been shoeing horses for 20 years. I've been training and buying and selling horses for 21 years. There is, I have a lot of experience. I can usually tell pretty good if there's a problem. I can see little things that a lot of people will miss. With that being said, not always can I see everything. There are things, I cannot see what's going on inside. I cannot see arthritis. Sometimes the way that we ride these horses, we put them through a lot. We ride them hard, we put lots of miles on them, we ride them in a lot of different scenarios, situations. Some of them we rope on, some of them we don't rope on. Always taking these things through rough country in a lot of different situations. With that being said,
we try to ride the horse of how we are going to sell that horse to a person. If we're selling a trail horse, we're hauling this horse around to different states, different places.
Well, not only that, but going back to the not being able to always know. Sometimes, like, there's a big difference. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not body shaming anybody. I'm 5'10" and 175 pounds. I'm fit. I'm fairly athletic. I can sit and balance on a horse. My weight, plus this weight of my saddle and all that, I can balance on him and I can help that horse move through country. If you are 5'6" and 240 pounds and you're not in shape, you're not athletic, you're not physically fit, and you're up there like a sack of potatoes, you cannot help that horse move through country, and you're going to cause sorenesses and lamenesses that were not, you're exasperating problems that were maybe a very minor issue that now become a very big issue because you aren't helping that horse be able to move through the country and move with the horse and sit on the horse and be the partner that that horse needs. So then all these sorenesses become exasperated because you didn't do your part to be fit, and you're up there, and you probably need a bigger horse, or don't eat so many Twinkies, Karen.
Caleb. The thing is we put these horses as horse owners, we want them fit. We want them in shape. We want them to be able to do a job that we're asking them to do, right? Why do we not require that out of ourselves as well? That's the point that I think he's trying to make. If you want a horse to be athletic as possible and work the best to its ability, you as the rider have to also be on your best and help the horse work to the best of its ability. We cannot do that if we're out of shape. We cannot do that if we can't balance ourselves. We can't. These are all the things that it takes a whole circus. It takes a whole circus to properly own a horse, and that starts also with your own health.
You know, I came to the conclusion several years ago that, we have asked these horses to be top athletes. And I know that, like, we think of that as horses that are running barrels to the NFR, horses that are going to the Snapple bit, horses that are doing, things that we might not be doing. The things that we ask these horses to do as trail horses are just as physically demanding as some of those other maneuvers. you're going out and you're riding 10, 15, 20 miles through very rough, rocky terrain. You're, you know, all of those types of things. That's not easy on a horse's joints. It's not easy on a horse's body. That's a lot of repetitive motion and a lot of movement, and a lot of that horse having to balance and catch himself along the way. Where'd I put the packing material?
Now, again, on this topic of the whole shit show that's going on right now, we try to work with everybody. We do not ghost you. You do not contact us with a problem, and we do not tell you but you're fucked. We say, and like Caleb said, you can maybe get this horse home and we call it sorrel and you call it fucking brown, and then state that you don't want the horse because the horse isn't sorrel, it's brown. We don't care. We'll take the horse back and we'll trade you out of it. We'll consign the horse. We'll resell it for you. And to be honest, 9 times out of 10, you make more money on the horse consigning it than you bought it for, because we really then have now had, instead of 30, 60, 90 days on this horse, we've now had an additional time, more videos, more pictures, all the things, more training. I mean, let's not forget that we also train.
There, okay, so right there is a perfect example. If anybody ever calls with an issue, right, and we're like, did you check its feet? This right here is why. That's an abscess. There wasn't a lot in there. There was a little bit of pus still left in that. Reach everything. But start with the easy thing.
And when you contact us and we offer advice, those are not excuses. When we say, have you taken the horse to a chiropractor? Have you had a farrier out? Have you done the small things that might help? Never once do we say, don't call the vet, no, we encourage you to, sure, find out what's going on in the horse, but we're trying to offer you solutions on what it might be from our own personal, professional experience of being around horses every single day of our lives for over 20 years.
Just because I've been doing it professionally for 20 years, there's not been a day in my life where I haven't been around a horse. I mean, I say that, like, even when we go on vacation, half of our vacations are around a horse, with a horse. And even if we're at the beach, guess what? We're still looking at horses, because Facebook, TikTok, all those things are filled with horses.
Or we're still talking to clients. We're still doing whatever. Like, the point is we do not ghost you. We very much make it very clear and upfront before you buy a horse what your options are if the horse does not work out. And it's quite funny how, when we give you these options, everybody is more than willing. Yes, no, I completely understand. We don't buy back horses. Yep, nope, I get it. But if you should have a problem with the said horse, we will take the horse back. We will trade you. And I want to make a note on the comments of everybody's like, well, why would I take a horse back that when the first one wasn't right? Well, because you are going to then get your own PP like you should have done the first time on the next horse that you get. Be
understanding about what's going on. You're not buying a bookshelf. That's a stationary, doesn't move thing. You're buying a individual that has its own mind and soul. It thinks, it has a physical body with joints that wear and get used, and all of those things. Horses are big, strong animals. They are extremely fragile. A lot of things will knock a horse out of condition.
Oh, absolutely.
Doesn't mean that it's a permanent thing. And that's where, with a little bit of help, I also want to point out that a lot of these horses, if you want one that's broke, they're not staying sound forever, because it takes a lot of riding and a lot of use to get one actually broke. And then you're going to have to do maintenance on it, and it's just the way it is.
And again, if you come back and you trade out of a horse, because I've seen a lot of comments say, well, would you trust to go back and get another horse? Why would you not trust to go back and get another horse? We were very upfront with you in the beginning. If you don't do your own personal PP after we encourage it, that is not on us. We get a pre-sale exam, which we, yes, I will admit,